it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up. Because that was your fuck up, not mine.
I was feeling that Jake Paul was going to knock out Tank. This press conference made me feel a little bit more confident about Tank. I'm no cap.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot.
Floyd Mayweather recently weighed in on the upcoming Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis showdown, offering a balanced but pointed perspective. Mayweather explained that while he has given Davis plenty of advice in the past, at the end of the day, Tank makes his own decisions. And with this fight, he's choosing to take a major risk. Floyd said he respects Davis's independence, but if his guidance isn't taken, it's no longer his concern. Still, Mayweather acknowledged that the matchup is good for boxing's visibility. The money is huge, and he'll definitely be tuning in to watch.
Within my company, within my team, do it my way. Because if you mess up, I don't mind being a janitor to clean up the mess because I told you to do it a certain way. But if I tell you to do it a certain way and you do it your way and then mess up, I don't want to clean it up. Because that was your fuck up, not mine.
The boxing world has been buzzing ever since news broke about the controversial fight. Fans and experts have split into two camps. One claiming it's a dangerous publicity stunt, the other believing it's a chance for Tank to broaden his reach beyond traditional boxing fans. Inside the industry, trainers and analysts have been voicing strong opinions from both sides.
And number 3, the retirement.
I mean, the backlash is just what people do nowadays. That's just, you give somebody a keyboard, you give them a phone, and they able to hide their face. Yeah, they're gonna have a field day. The backlash I get, I understand. What'd you say, number 2, not fight Shakur?
Yeah, he's saying he'll never fight Shakur, that he ain't gonna do him no favors, that he ain't gonna help him make no money because Shakur broke or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't get all that. That's, you know what I mean? That's against the game. Like, you know what I mean? You at least owe that fight for the game. You know what I mean? You owe the rematch to Lamont for the game. But you owe Shakur for the game just because of the 2 style matchups. You know what I mean? But if he feel like he don't gotta fight him, guess what? We can't sit here and just go crazy about it. But it is kind of crazy.
Trainer Greg Hackett, for example, defended Davis's decision, saying people today are too quick to criticize fighters without understanding their personal motivations. He argued that if Gervonta wants to face Jake Paul, that's his right. And it deserves respect, not ridicule. According to Hackett, boxing fans need to stop trying to dictate fighters' careers and start appreciating the work and discipline it takes to stay at the elite level. His comments reflect a growing frustration among professionals who feel social media has turned boxing commentary into a non-stop cycle of judgment and drama.
He done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot. This whole experience is a lot. The shit these fighters go through is hard to explain. It's hard to explain because people, they can't see it, so they can't understand it. But it's stressful to the fighters because they coming from just getting ready to fight in the amateurs, being prepared, going out there, win, get it done, celebrate. All right, we back to the next camp. To now, marketing. You're talking about marketing. You're talking about lawyers. You're talking about all this shit that you just never imagined. You're like, why do I have to deal with all of this shit? People trying to keep money coming in, so they trying to come up with bright ideas. At the same time, you got a lot of people trying to get shit from you.
Meanwhile, sports analyst Max Kellerman found himself at the center of controversy for his harsh take on Gervonta Davis. In recent broadcasts, Kellerman claimed that Tank had never truly proven himself as a legitimate champion, undermining his achievements in the sport. His remarks sparked backlash from other boxing commentators who accused him of ignoring Davis's knockout record and the quality of his victories. Critics say Kellerman's stance highlights a deeper bias in modern boxing coverage, one that downplays genuine talent in favor of headline-driven narratives. The debate over Tank's legacy has become a reflection of how perception and favoritism shape modern boxing media.
Max Kellerman is full of nonsense. Max Kellerman claims that Gervonta Davis was never a champion, that we've never been a period of time when we looked at Gervonta Davis and said Gervonta Davis is the man in that weight class. bunch of other ridiculousness pouring out of the pie hole of Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman is one of the most biased, bought and paid for journalists that there is in the sport of boxing, and to have him back talking again on and giving his opinion again about the sport of boxing, I promise you, is not a good thing. But let's analyze what he had to say about Gervonta, that Gervonta was not ever a champion. That is ridiculous because Gervonta Davis was a champion for the IBF at 130. He was a WBA super champion at 130. He is currently the reigning WBA champion at 135. And there is no other champion in the division for the WBA at the moment. He is the only WBA champion that there is at 135. He had a portion of a secondary, the title at the time he won it at 140 was a secondary title. So if you do not want to count that, I don't know why you wouldn't, seeing as everybody else counts that belt. But okay, fine. He's a 2-division world champion. That is more than zero, Max Kellerman. Now, looking at the idea that Gervonta Davis has never been the man in that division is absolutely ridiculous because Gervonta Davis has really been the man in that division the entire time that he's there.
Former world champion Paulie Malignaggi also jumped into the discussion, taking a strong stance against the Davis-Paul fight. He criticized the matchup as damaging to boxing, claiming that true knockouts only matter when they come from fair, evenly matched contests. Malignaggi argued that these manufactured bouts mislead casual viewers, giving the illusion of real competition when, in reality, they're business spectacles. Speaking alongside analyst Chris Algieri, he emphasized that while the event might attract massive attention, it risks diluting the sport's authenticity. According to Paulie, allowing social media personalities to share the same stage as elite fighters blurs the line between entertainment and true athletic skill, a problem that threatens boxing's legacy. However, not everyone shares that pessimistic view.
Dude, knockouts. People like knockouts. They don't care if you're knocking out cab drivers. Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture
knockouts. You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way we did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way they did when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time fought.
Teddy Atlas will 100% agree with this.
With the expense of
Witherspoon. That were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when are you going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out every.
Boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult offered a more optimistic perspective after watching the pre-fight press conference. Initially concerned about Tank's size disadvantage, Showbiz admitted that seeing Davis's poise and sharpness in person changed his mind. He said Tank looked composed, confident, and laser-focused, qualities that convinced him Davis could adapt to Jake Paul's size and power. Showbiz predicted that Gervonta's superior technique, precision, and fight IQ could allow him to pull off a stunning victory despite the odds. Amid all this, Floyd Mayweather's name has re-entered the headlines, not as a promoter, but as a potential fighter. Reports have surfaced that Mayweather is exploring a bout with none other than Mike Tyson. While many dismissed it as another exhibition or money grab, several analysts believe Floyd's motivation runs deeper. They see it as Mayweather's way of reminding the world that he still commands boxing's spotlight, even in retirement. With the Davis versus Paul spectacle dominating attention, Floyd's rumored return seems like a strategic move to ensure no one, not even his former protege, overshadows his legacy. In the end, the conversation around Davis versus Jake Paul isn't just about one fight. It's about what boxing is becoming, a battlefield where legacy, entertainment, and relevance constantly collide. Whether fans view it as a bold crossover or a step in the wrong direction, one thing is certain. Everyone, including Mayweather himself, will be watching. That's all for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more boxing updates. And share your thoughts below. Stay tuned for more.